Giant double tuck back. Lovely exercise, nothing wrong with that at all. To be picky, one could have asked for a little more extension perhaps, but basically it was excellent. This really just like a men's high bar exercise. No problem there. Look at the extension she did get into that. A pirouette in the giant, and there we go into the double back finish. 9.812. Somebody dropped her as low as 9.75. That was the British judge, and the Norwegian as high as 9.9. Those two scores would be discounted, and the other four averaged to give that 9.812. Gina Gojan now. Ah, there the Marinic. Very difficult move, again taken straight from the men's high bar. Pirouette, building up to the dismount, double layout back, superb work from her. Gojan has really routines packed with innovation and difficulty. She scored 9.887 in the all-around. Look at this totally original section in the middle. There it is, the Kachov, and then as she comes out of it, comes back as if she's going for another one, and halfway through reverses it into the front somersault. Now she had trouble in the all-around in getting going again from that point. To me, that looked a smoother transition as she went back to the low bar. Let's see if it's reflected in her mark. Such a big move to put into the exercise that she must be very tempted to relax a moment when it goes through. 9.687, again paying the penalty. Gutsu. Ginga, lovely continuity there. Look at the attack in this exercise. Again, a beautiful catch-up to high over that bar. And double layout. Look at the landing. And the coaches immediately applauding. She really is in incredible form. Tatiana Gutsu took all 5 gold medals in the Europa Cup in Brussels last year, and at the moment she's looking as if she might be going on to repeat that incredible feat here in Nantes. She certainly hasn't put a foot wrong yet. Look at that lovely swing into the dismount. Very stylish. Great extension, 9.937. Well, there was no doubt that she'd take the lead. It's a question now of whether she can hold off the opposition. Next to go, the defending European champion, Svetlana Bogenskia. Look at that lovely flight. She really did have stacks of time to kick out of it.
Svetlana Bogenskia, Biélorussie.
Bogenskia has already forgotten those mistakes in the all-around and on the vault. Here she goes, total concentration. The defending champion. So far it's been disappointing. Pirouette in giant, through to the catcher. Drops to the low bar. So on, circle, double pike. Oh, and she's a bit low out of that. And I fancy that's not quite good enough. It was good, but just on that landing, she was a shade low. The straddle vault over the low bar onto the high. She's so tall, 5'4½", but she has to pike just that little bit as she goes round in her giant. Some of the smaller ones don't have to. Drops to the low. Just uses her legs to bounce off the bottom bar. And there it is, 9.85. She goes into second place. I think that's fair. We'll take another break. Welcome back. She's well capable of getting into the medals too. She was second in the Europa Cup competition in Brussels last year. Second in the all-around two behind Tatiana Gutsu. Lovely Jaeger somersault. Really got extension all the way through that and straight arms on the recatch. Stolder and then the endo circles. Inward double front with half twist for the dismount. Big applause from Alexander Alexandrov, the coach. And she's got grace as well in her exercise. Alexandrov just pointing out how something might have been better, and she shrugs her shoulders and says, well, I thought it went pretty well. There's the Jaeger somersault. Half turn there. That's the Stolder circle, and then back she goes on the endo circle. Double front inwards, and then the half twist, so that she's facing away from the bars. Cool and calm as she waits. From Kemerovo. She's now 17 years old. Bars and beam are her favorite pieces of apparatus. 9.875. She goes second, ahead of Khristakieva and Boginskaya, but still behind
Tatiana Lysenko.
that brilliant exercise from Tatiana Gutsu. Now the other Tatiana Lysenko. Champion on this piece in the World Cup. Made the final in Indianapolis in the World Championships, but fell. So she's a brilliant worker if she gets it right. Lovely Jaeger. Again, that wonderful extension that we saw from Grudneva. Well, there was a great deal of similarity between the exercises, wasn't there? The dismount the same as well. And Tatiana Lysenko, now representing the Ukraine.
Nous allons attendre la note de mademoiselle Lysenko avant d'effectuer la cérémonie protocolaire.
Look at that lovely straight position she gets through the undergrasp giants, then into the Jaeger. Nice to see something different on the low bar. She got a Stolder circle in, And the double front with half twist, 9.9. She goes second. Nobody can touch Gutsu. So a toughest test, because now she has to set the standard. Beautifully steady on the mount. Twisting back somersault. I can't tell you how difficult that is on beam. Imagine that you have to come down in exactly the same plane as you took off when you've done a 360-degree rotation of the body lengthwise as well as the somersault. She is so confident. She is going so well. Slightly offline, but no real crisis there. Again, that full twist making it very difficult. The original move, the Corbett flick, named after the great Olga Corbett, who performed it right back in 1972. Full in, back out. Look at the speed, look at the attack. And again, a superb exercise. Tatiana Gutsu showing that she certainly doesn't crack under pressure. Just a little adjustment there. The move, though, so difficult. Some of the judges, I'm sure, will ignore that altogether. And she was slightly offline on the Corbett with full twist. And there the dismount. A full in, back out, not content just to do a double back somersault, puts the full twist into the first one. So many twists there in a beam exercise, and that makes it very much more difficult. A Polish judge, but the rest all agreed. 9.9, just those tiny mistakes. Now, can anybody go above that? Wanda Adarian. Scored 9.862. She's not quite so confident on this piece of apparatus. Long pauses as she builds up to her difficult moves. It was lovely when she started it, though. The gainers again, these little steps into moves, making them much more difficult because you can't set yourself up and make sure that everything is absolutely in line. Flick, somersault, somersault. And then the Corbett flick on the end of two somersaults. A four-move sequence. They really are pushing further and further. When Olga Corbett first put that move into her routines, there was a great gasp, and now it's slipped in as a fourth move on the end of a combination. Double back to finish with. An excellent routine from her. There, the front summer half twist. The Barani. Free back walkover. Much difficulty in there. She paid the penalty for a little bit of untidiness. 9. Now this little girl, Gina Gaugian, had two falls in Paris in the apparatus world finals and scored only 8.75. But it really is a spectacular exercise if it goes well. Lovely extension she gets into those somersaults. You saw it in the vault when she was coming off the horse backwards, and you saw it again there. The marks on the beam for the gymnast to make sure that their positions are exactly right. Oh, and she's come to grief again. That full twisting back somersault is just so difficult. We saw Gutsu perform it and hold on to it, but Gojjan couldn't. I remember the first time I ever saw that performed, it was in practice in Budapest in 1983 before the World Championships, and Marta Karoli, Bella Karoli's wife, was putting... By stopping there with the double back finish. Well, the rest of the exercise was beautiful, but I'm afraid the fall puts her right out of contention. And she was putting Grigorash through her paces, and it wasn't going right, and she kept falling off, and it took her about 15 or even 20 goes to get it right, but Marta Karoli just kept pointing back to the beam and said she wasn't going to finish her practice until she'd completed it successfully, and eventually she did. It's sometimes very tough being a gymnast. But the point of all that was to make sure that under the pressure of competition it all went well. They expected 9.412 when you've had a fall is an excellent score, because she was only being marked out of 9.5. Ludmila Stolchataya from the Ukraine. She competed in the afternoon session along with Lysenko and Adarian, finished 6th overall. Good variety, showing a lot of confidence, working across the beam there. But with full twist again, and that was performed beautifully. Able to work out of it. Again, something that we haven't seen. It's amazing how the gymnasts do develop these moves and refine them. When Shushinova was doing it in the late 80s, she really landed so heavily on that move that you wonder whether she wasn't doing herself some damage. But the judges didn't penalize for that because it was so difficult. And a full in back out to finish. That is class work from Stolchataya. A tremendous exercise from her. Everything went really well. She's delighted. Alexander Alexandrov. Now he'll be in charge of the women at Barcelona. He's in a strange position at the moment. All these coaches are going to have to decide where they're going to do their coaching. Now, Stolchataya really making a bid here. Certainly for a medal, and maybe even for gold. And the crowd showing their disapproval, but I'm sure she'll be delighted with that. She can get into the medals. Svetlana Boginskaya. Now, going for gold, her last chance. And she does that so easily, you can hardly believe it's a front somersault mount. Just as Christina Molnar brought that elegance to it with her height, you can see it again here with Boginskaya. And again, as steady as a rock. Well, 9.9 she's got to beat at the moment. The exercise is really going perfectly for her. I haven't seen the slightest wobble. Oh, and she sticks the landing as well. Now that surely must give her the gold that she's been coveting so much from these championships. She's such a competitor, no matter how many golds she's won before. She would be incredibly disappointed if she went away from Nantes without a gold in her bag. And a wave to the crowd. At last, something has gone absolutely as planned. Look at that. She came out of them, and she's even got the crowd all behind her. Sometimes they find it hard to get behind Boginskaya because she is such an unemotional competitor. Well, she doesn't show anything, at least. But it's hard to see that going better. She made a mistake in Paris a month ago in the final when everybody thought that she could take the world title again. There it is, it had to be 9.95 gold for Boginskaya. No tens, all the judges absolutely agreed. Everybody gave her 9.95. So she's got the gold that she wanted so much, and at the same time she's prevented the clean sweep for Tatiana Gutsu. And she'll consider that a triumph too, because don't forget she did it last year, and Ludmila Stoichetaya takes the bronze. The reigning junior European all-around champion. Oh, lifted that wonderfully. Terrific height. Yet another one using music with a lot of Spanish guitar in it, perhaps hoping that she's going to make the team for Barcelona, and then hoping to carry favour with the Spanish crowd by using music that they'll be familiar with. Double tuck back again. All the tumbling runs have to be different. And the middle one, you'll notice that she put in whip back somersaults to make it different, even though she finished with the same double tuck back somersault at the end of each run. She's a very cool performer. 15 this year. Full in, back out. Full twist in the first somersault. This is the middle one. Whip, flick flack again, and the double back. So that one round off, flick, whip back, flick, double back, giving her 5 tumbles in the sequence. Here she goes straight into the round off, flick flack, and double back somersault. That's the final one. As you'd expect, she's getting tired. The Romanians have unearthed more great talents in gymnastics. 9.85. Amitova. Now, her last time in France, she'll want to forget, because at Bercy in the Apparatus World Championships, she injured herself on this first tumbling run and couldn't continue. Look at that double layout punch front. Got it absolutely right that time, and she's quite obviously suffered no ill effects. Again, superlative tumbling. Amitova came second to Vanda Adarian in the all-around competition in the Junior European Championships in Athens last year. Oh, and again, just showing off. The double tuck back to finish with, but not content to leave it at that. She does a little punch front somersault out of it. Incredible tumbling. The dance still has a long way to go, but Sylvia Amitova performing superbly, and what a happy smile. That certainly banished any bad memories of Bercy.